So let's take you here now. Founder of Africa Teen Geeks, Lindiwe Matlali, has been championing computing education in townships since 2014, and she's been acknowledged as well as rewarded for her efforts. The Schwab Foundation for Social Entrepreneurship, in partnership with the World Economic Forum, has recognized her for social innovation. She is one of 23 change makers internationally, and she joins us now to talk more on this. Lindiwe, a very big congratulations to you. No doubt you must also be feeling some form of pride and excitement. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm really excited. It's a real honor, to get the recognition for the work that we do. Just gives that validation that we're doing the right thing. So yeah, it's very exciting.
Sure. When you started back in 2014, what was the big idea?
The big idea really was to just get kids from disadvantaged communities and get them to learn how to code, and and then expose them to technology role models and hopefully inspire them to pursue careers in STEM. That was really the big idea, but also to really to create a pipeline of people of color into the tech sector, which is very much still about 70% white male. So the hope was to really start having, creating a different pathway for success for kids in disadvantaged communities.
Sure, and someone sees you now getting recognition and receiving awards internationally and thinking, well, even me, I can do this. No doubt there were some obstacles along the way. Talk us through some of the challenges that you had faced before the glory.
Well, we started, the first challenge actually started with the first class that we started, because when we started Africa Teen Geeks, we were lucky we to get the University of South Africa, UNISA, to support us by providing their labs on Saturday so that we can bring the kids for free. And the first class we had literally, I think, about 3 kids. And I could not believe it because we had a lot of support. It was, we publicized it, and it turned out that the reason was because the children could not afford the transport to come to the classes on Saturday. So, and then for me, it really also, is something that we talk about, but I think for me, it became very real, the fact that there is an opportunity. It doesn't mean that everybody can be able to access it. And really also it was a clear, display of the difference between equity and equality. That to say that, the classes are there, we've got people who want to teach us free. All the kids we wanted to come couldn't come because they just could not afford something as, the basic as a transport. So we had to rethink our method to say, okay, now we need to start thinking of how are we going to bring the kids to get the kids we want to come to for our classes, and also providing lunch, so that even our fundraising had to change because we didn't need money at the time. It was just about, we've got the labs, they were free, I've got volunteers. But it soon became clear that, we also have to raise money now to make sure that you can provide transport and lunch for the kids. But from when we started to now, where we have reached over 600,000 kids that have been part of our program, it's really been great to see. I'm talking about direct people, that the kids that were able to impact directly, over and above that, those who were able to watch our programs on community radio station. So it's really been a roller coaster. But for me, the biggest, what I would say was our biggest success was when we had our first global hackathon in Silicon Valley with kids that were part of our program, all of them from the township, and they went to the US and they won. So that was really awesome. It just shows that when you provide the opportunity and support, the kids can really do amazing things.
Absolutely. You're quite literally changing the narrative about coming from a disadvantaged background. Tell us what this has meant and what it has done for the children that you work with at Teen Geeks.
I mean, it's really about how changing the way they see themselves. Because, you know, I grew up very, very poor. I didn't have parents. So I was raised by my grandfather, who was raising 7 of us from my sibling, but also 5 of my cousins. My mom and her sister died within 2 weeks apart. And my grandfather had to ended up looking after 12 orphans, all under the age of 16. And it was, you can imagine, it was very, very difficult because the old age grant he got was very little, and my grandfather worked until actually the day he died because he could not even afford to retire. He was still working as a gardener so that he can afford. So, and I know how people used to treat you. You know, the fact that you're poor and maybe sometimes your shoes, you're working barefooted, and people sometimes they look at disadvantage and it just means that just because you're poor, it means you are not able to do anything. And the way we were raised, my grandfather always taught us about how we had to look at ourselves. And he always said to us, if you go to school and you study, one day you would not even remember that you were an orphan. He repeated that all the time. And I know what that meant because even when I went to, go to high school, I aspired to go to the University of Cape Town because at that time my brother went before and told me that was the best university in South Africa, and that's what I worked towards. And I know that when you, for me, because of what I experienced, and I know that for a lot of kids, they don't have somebody like my grandfather who can just, encourage them and inspire them every day. So for us, Africa Teen Geeks goes beyond just about, teaching the kids how to code. Yes, that is great, but it's about inspiring them to not see themselves or define themselves by their disadvantage and know that hard work really does pay. Hard work and support. And that is really, really important because we inspire them to work hard, but we provide them with the support they need so that they can be able to access the opportunities that are out there. Yes, opportunities are there, but a lot of kids can't access them. So that is why it's so important for us to provide the access and the support and make them believe that they can dream big too. Because sometimes when everybody keeps telling you that you can never achieve that, or every time you try something, you can't do it because you don't have the minimum basic things you need to get there, you stop dreaming. And what we want to do is to make sure that the kids don't stop dreaming and they keep working hard, and we try to be there and just support them and provide the help that they need for them to start achieving great things.
Your grandfather was a very wise man. Magwande Sisi, through you, and thank you very much to you and the team for the work that you are doing. Teen Geeks having reached over 48,000 children in this country. Thank you very much for your time.